Ladies and gentlemen, the time has finally come. The iPod Touch, the last remaining survivor to that holdout for a really, really long time. He really did honestly try his best to stick around, to stay relevant, even got as far as the A10 chip in an iPod Touch. Even though iPods have been around longer than Apple Silicon, um, they couldn't make it last. Didn't work out. And Apple just a couple days ago dropped the while supplies last wording for the iPod Touch page, which was already hard enough to find. Now every single storage, every single storage option, every single color is no longer in stock on the US online store, which means that the last remaining iPods are just going to be sitting around at a couple Apple stores that maybe you could pick up in person. Um, they're in stock in a couple third-party places like Amazon, sure. Oh, and thank you, Chris Otham, for your continued support. Appreciate it. Yeah, I wonder if people started buying them up much faster because they knew they were going out of style, basically. Apple's not building them anymore. I don't personally predict that's going to result in a huge number of appreciation. I don't think you should sell all your crypto and put it into iPods. That's probably not a good idea. Um, but it's the end of an era, and honestly, I have to just say, what took you so long, Apple? Why the heck did it take so long to get rid of these things? I feel like here's the question we really should be asking ourselves. Was the iPod Touch 7th generation worth releasing? Or should it have died back with the 6th gen? Like, what was the point of doing the A10 chip refresh only for it to be around for about 3 years, almost 3-ish years, and then discontinued, gone, out of stock? I don't I don't know how many people actually got much use out of the 7th gen. I know there's people that always tell me, I use iPods every day. How many people are using the iPod Touch 7th gen, like, consistently today? They should have done this on its 20th anniversary. Oh, that's a good idea, Sam. I kind of like that concept of just wait till the 20-year mark and then cut it there. But that was last October, so I'm not sure why they wanted to wait until today. Like, what changed? Not today, but a couple days ago. What changed on May 8th or May 9th or whatever? Um, I don't really follow. But just because it's kind of the end of an era, and I figured that, hey, there's a good chance I might not be doing any more videos on iPods, or this very well may be the last iPod themed title on this channel. I thought it would be fun to kind of go through the history here and kind of explore my iPod collection, if you will. So I have a few out just so that we can pay homage to them and say goodbye, since I'm going to throw them all in the garbage. No, I'm kidding. Um, but my first generation, my first Apple product I ever bought in my life, I don't have here with me, but it was very similar to this iPod Nano. Mine was a 4th generation in silver, but I still have my sister's yellow one. This was the 5th gen. You can see it gets slightly dented in the aluminum in the back. Obviously, it's seen better days, but shocking how tiny we were comfortable with these devices being. But they actually stuffed a camera on the back of the iPod Nano. And the crazy thing about this camera, it was video only. They literally did not take pictures. You couldn't take a picture, but you could only record a video. I don't know what logic that is. Like, that must be a software limitation. I don't know how you can design a camera that can only do video. But yeah, even these tiny, tiny devices, much, much smaller than the iPhones of today. I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. You think the 12 mini is small? Try this, right? Because this stuffed a headphone jack and a 30-pin connector. And yeah, it was like a 240p camera. It was incredibly low resolution, but it did have a microphone. And look at the just raw sheer difference in camera size. This is the iPod Nano camera. This is the 13 Pro Max camera. I mean, it's like not even the size of an aperture. It's insane how different these cameras are. But yeah, I actually, just for this special occasion, found the good old-fashioned 30-pin connector. I still have one in storage, and I'm currently charging up an iPod Classic. This did not even have flash storage. This was 100. Look at how poorly the steel has aged on the back. My God, that just looks atrocious, doesn't it? This one was 160 gigabytes, but just at the time, 160 gigs was a lot, and it was a physical spinning hard drive on the inside. It was not flash storage, so you could actually pull up music, and you could hear the drive spinning on the inside. It would actually be like zzz, it would be rotating, and it's just now booting up. It's very dark. The display is not very bright at all, but the charger is working. I'm not sure which generation Classic it is. Did they even say? I don't know. That it was a old friend of mine's that gave it to me. I never really got much use out of it, but they were like, I don't need this anymore. But it's still working. Oh yeah, connected. There you go. It's charging up now. Eject before disconnecting. I wonder what even happens with hey, I finally got universal control working between the iMac Pro and the MacBook Pro, so that's nice. I connect my Magic Mouse to my MacBook, and now I just with one mouse jump over to the iMac Pro and see what happens. Yeah, it's not even showing up as a device. There's no iTunes anymore, so I don't even know what to look at, to be honest. I don't know what to do. It says connected. I just want it to charge. Can you not charge it and just use it at the same time? It was 160 gigabytes. Yes, not megabytes. I don't know if that was ever a thing. Oh, I found it. Okay. I wish I could show this. Oh, it's just treated like a flash drive. It's not showing the, you know how when you plug an iPhone into a Mac, it shows up in Finder and it has like sync and backup and like you can store content on it. This one just has folders that say notes, even though it has the icon. I don't know how to show it here. I'll take a picture real quick so you guys can see what it looks like. It's interesting. They actually show, one sec. They actually show the icon within macOS. You zoom in here. They still have the iPod icon built into macOS. This is on the latest version. This is Monterey. But it doesn't have like a backup or sync or anything. There's just folders. Calendars, contacts, notes, recordings, and by the way, nothing's in calendars, nothing's in contacts. All there is a terminal command in notes called instructions, but there's nothing in recordings. So I'm just gonna let it charge up, I guess. Unless there's anything it's not gonna let me like open it up and start looking at music, I guess. This switcher on the side is very loose. This slides back and forth very easily. My OG iPod Shuffle shows up like that. Oh, that's interesting. So I also, when I was later on, my first iPod was the 4th gen Nano. It was very similar to this one, except it didn't have a camera and the display was a little smaller. But after a couple of years of the Nano, I finally made the upgrade to an iPod Touch, 4th generation. That was my first iOS device. Also, don't know what happened to it. Mine was black, and it was 32 gigs. And this is a different friend of mine's that didn't want it anymore. I think it doesn't completely work, so I think that's why he said I could have it. But it was an 8 gigabyte on this one, and white bezels, which is how you know it wasn't mine. This is probably one of the few white bezeled products in my household. But mine, of course, was black, and I played a crap ton of games on it, and that was just kind of my first experience with a multi-touch iOS device. This one, I'm not sure what's going to happen when I give it power, but I remember how impressive it was that they could get it, because it was thinner than the iPhones at the time, and I think it's still pretty much thinner than most iPhones. It might even be thinner than the iPhone 6. No, it's probably a tiny bit thicker, but this was pre-camera bump. So it did have a front and rear-facing camera, which was a big deal at the time. Other iPod Touches didn't have front and back. And the power buttons were notorious for going bad. And this one absolutely did. Hey, Raphael, thank you for supporting the channel directly. If anyone's wondering how I make so many videos, the channel members know, because they get to watch the behind the scenes live streams and they get to vote on what the future videos are going to be for the channel. $2 a month, first link in the description. Thank you, everybody, all the channel members, for your support. But the volume buttons were quite mushy, and the camera was not particularly good, but for the time it was impressive. And still rocked 30 pin and the headphone jack on the bottom, and no water resistance, no biometrics, no vibration motor, and a pretty tiny battery, to be honest. But while I was using my iPod Touch in middle school, I was trying to prop it up against a wall to watch movies on it, and I dropped it, broke the glass. I've never dropped my iPhone, but I did drop my first iPod Touch, and I broke the glass. And I repaired it myself, and while I was waiting for the repair parts to show up, I bought this because it was only $50. It was the 4th generation iPod Shuffle. Now, this thing is quite the epitome of Apple these days, because Apple's, on their way of discontinuing the headphone jack and getting rid of it as many products as possible. This one only had a headphone jack, no 30 pin. It was literally only the headphone jack. That's how you charged it. You actually had to find, I don't even know where it is, but I don't see a point in firing this thing up for you because it doesn't have a speaker. All I could do is plug in wired headphones, which I don't even have, and say, yep, it's playing. But it was basically just the controls. This one, I think, was 4 gigs. I can't tell. They don't even write it on the side. They actually put all of the disclosures in writing behind the clip. So if you open it up and look on the inside, you can actually see. Yeah, it's really hard. The lighting's not good, but yeah, it was 4 gigs of storage, and you synced it through the Mac, through the headphone jack, and also charged it through the headphone jack, which is pretty awesome and pretty trippy. I don't even remember what this button did. It has oh, I see. There's a button that has a text bubble on the back. But yeah, the switch had off, repeat, and shuffle. So that one switch was basically most of your controls. I'm trying to remember what this button did, but it's been such a long time since I've used this. The headphone jack charger is so weird. I love it. How many devices charge via the headphone jack? Isn't that trippy? Oh, sorry. I see some messages here from the members. Brett says, universal control sucks if you use an external display with a MacBook, though. Buggy as heck. Yeah, mine was buggy for quite some time, too. Oh, wow. The icon is huge on the desktop. I just realized. It's impressive that macOS Monterey can still... Here, I'll take a picture so you guys can see it. It's impressive that macOS Monterey can still remember, the color. Look at this. This is on, a latest generation Mac. It still knows exactly what this iPod looks like when plugged in via 30 pin. So I'm going to just let it charge up so I can move it around. But yeah, I did use the Shuffle for quite some time. Later in my life, back when I first got an iPhone, I got the iPhone 5. That was my first phone of any kind. I really wanted Apple Watch, and there was no Apple Watch at the time. I wanted it, back then we called it an iWatch. We were hoping that Apple would make one. There was rumors of Apple making one, but of course this thing wasn't ready yet and it didn't come out. So I actually didn't buy it from Apple. I went on Amazon and found iPod Nano 6th generation, which is incredibly similar to the iPod Shuffle, except it had a display. They actually fit a pretty square, a bit decently sized iPod compared to the Shuffle. It's a little bit bigger. But unlike the Shuffle, on this tiny, tiny device, which, oh my God, look, guys, it's squared off. This is the Apple Watch Series 8. It's got the squared off design already. But unlike the iPod Shuffle, they were actually able to stuff an entire 30-pin connector on this thing. And a headphone jack, of course, because that's how you listen to everything. This was pre-Bluetooth. It was not running iOS. It did not have internet. It did not have Bluetooth. So you couldn't use any wireless headphones with it, which was a shame. But they did have a clock app on this thing that I want to fire this thing up. I want to see if it still works. There was a clock app that had different watch faces to choose from. So you could buy, Apple didn't sell any themselves, but Steve Jobs joked about this. but you could buy a third-party case for the iPod Nano that worked as a watch band, and you could wear it like a watch and actually have the wired headphones coming out of the bottom, listen to music off your watch. And I actually did that in high school. I was the nerdiest guy because I was the only one listening to music through my watch. But there was no raise to wake. So you guys take for granted this part. You could just tilt your wrist now and it fires up the watch, or we have always on displays on Apple Watches now. This bad boy, literally, you couldn't even tap the display to wake it up. Not only did it do nothing just because there was no accelerometer, there was no gyroscope or anything. It didn't know when your wrist was tilting. You basically just had to click the power button on the top every time you wanted to check the time. So I put it on my wrist, and every time I wanted to check the time, I would just lift it up, press the side, and it would light up the watch face, and you could check it. But it had volume buttons, so you could adjust the volume right there. They were circular. You don't need no digital crown. You've got circular volume buttons. And every night you'd have to charge it with the giant 30-pin connector. But it was also not water resistant at all. So at one point I did jump in a river with this iPod on. I think it made some issues with the volume button, but it did still technically work. I couldn't adjust the volume as easily. But back then you had the wired headphones. You could adjust it from the remote. Yeah, we're still streaming off T-Mobile. Did it have a calculator or weather? That's what I'm trying to remember. I definitely did not have the weather app because there was no internet. You could not connect to the internet from this thing. I'm trying to remember what you could do. I think it had a Nike app that somehow tracked your steps. I don't know how it tracked your steps. But you could listen to the radio through headphones. You could convert Apple's wired earpods into antennas, and you could listen to the radio, I think. But you could listen to music, you could check the time, and that's all I can remember. It doesn't have a speaker, so it can't emit any sound. There's no vibration motor, so you can't get notifications or anything. I think it did have a calculator, but it gives you kind of perspective of how far Apple's come when you see how many people would still want a squared off Apple Watch looking design like this. I don't know. It's trippy. Tailosive leaks the Series 8. An external display with a MacBook Pro. Universal control puts the iPad in the wrong place, and if you move the iPad screen position, it snaps back. Yes, I have noticed that bug. Absolutely. Oh, someone says it doesn't have a calculator app. Okay. Well, since this isn't letting me do anything, like I wish I could just have power. Oh, that's right. This had photos. You could put photos on the iPod Nano if you wanted to look at pictures on a 1-inch display. Listen to it crackle. This is old. I'm amazed this cable still works. Okay, it says to eject before disconnecting, and I think that's a good idea, so I'm going to hit eject on the Mac and see what happens. It doesn't know what to do. I'm hitting eject. It's loading. It's buffering. Who wants a circular watch when you could have iPod Nano, the click wheel watch? Can you do a recap video of the iPod Touch? I'm doing it now. This is it. I want to recap not just the iPod Touch, but all my iPods that I still have. Before the 4th gen, it's just frozen. I tried to hit eject on the Mac, and now it's just the beach ball loading thing. Eject before disconnecting. I might just yank it and see what happens. Before the 4th gen iPod Nano, that was my first Apple product. Oh, now it stopped loading, but weird. Can I just hit the eject button, please? It's not letting me, I guess. This was the 3rd generation iPod Nano that my sister and my mother used for a long time. This was like their OG iPod that I spent a lot of time on. This was pre-accelerometer, definitely pre-Bluetooth, definitely no internet and that kind of thing. But it was a widescreen iPod, so they were advertising, wow, you can watch movies on the Nano now. It's pretty great. And it was tiny, and yet it could still rock the 30-pin connector. And they still went with the steel glossy back. This one was 8 gigabytes, but it's in pretty good shape. And I love the black accents with the click wheel and stuff. That aged pretty nicely. And I I remember this one had games on it, so I would actually play this like Vortex game where you could rotate the click wheel around and you would hit a ball and break things and stuff. So I kind of grew up with this before I bought my own iPod later on. Imagine putting round direct software interfaces on a circle display. Oh my god. I always bought an iPod just because. Too bad they're sold out. I would have gotten it engraved. Yeah, I guess it's the last chance to get one engraved. You can still buy one. Hey, thank you, Revenant Tech, for supporting the channel directly. I'll see you on the next member stream. Um, looking forward to it. Thank you for the support. But yeah, I think you can still buy them on Amazon. I'm sure they're still available on Marketplace. I don't expect much appreciation. I don't think we're at a point where they're going to start shooting up in value. But still, not going to lie, iPods look so cool when held in the hands. Brilliant design. I'll miss it. I don't really miss it because my phone is just so much better, but I can't appreciate the nostalgia. It's kind of funny to pull them out. But this is what I'm talking about in my videos when I say you can still do this. Apple not making the iPod anymore doesn't stop you from pulling out the old iPods or just looking at what they could have been, or not could have been, but looking at what we used to live with and what we used to think was cool. This used to be like a big display back in the day. I remember using this and being like, wow, you could just turn it to the side and you got your whole movie and the click wheel to adjust the volume. Yeah, it really is cool to look back and kind of reminisce on the end of an era. So, oh, hey, I think it started working. Oh, look at this. It's booted up. Is that a static? Like, is the image corrupted? Oh, I see. There it goes. Now it's starting to actually show some album art. So we have music, videos, photos. What's on here? I'm going to move around. Okay, click wheel still works. There's no photos. How about videos? No videos. Okay, I guess we're looking at music. We'll see what's on here. Cover flow. Oh my god, who else misses cover flow? So it's obviously a very slow it's at loading all the album art. It can it's just the music icon. Because it's not flash storage. This was a spinning hard disk. Okay, Bokeh doesn't know how to handle itself, so I'm going to turn it off. Sometimes I like portrait mode, but not this time. Okay. Skyfall, Aerosmith, Mouse Hunt. Oh my god. Godzilla. Oh, there's Tailosive. Hey, it's still on there. That was the original Tailosive logo. I made some of my own music, and it's still there. The Dave Show. And I have the Portal soundtrack, Book of Eli. Ooh, I love Audio Machine. I haven't listened to these in a while. But it's not making any like actual clicking sounds like I think the iPod Nanos did. Oh, look at this. This is still kind of relevant. Thor the Dark World. I don't know why I had the soundtrack to Thor the Dark World, but and Minecraft. See, I was in it back then and I'm still in it now. We're going to play some Minecraft later. But there's so many. It's so bad at loading the album art. Like I feel like I'm going to crash the ooh, no iPod was complete without Tron the Motion Picture soundtrack. Everybody needed one of these. There you go. It's so slow at loading the album art, but when it does, it's like, got it. Yeah, Apple Music doesn't work on iPods, understandably, because you know it's an online based thing. Even after seeing all the tech from today, cover flow still amazes me. It's amazing into oh wow, that's dated. Look at that. We still have the Harlem Shake in there. Who else remembers the Harlem Shake? Credit Drew, love the old pods. I'll always remember those billboards with the silhouette person and the white ear pods. Oh yeah, I remember those too. Dead Mouse is on here. Man, the frame rate is so low. I don't know if it shows on camera, but the frame rate of this is like sub 30. It feels like 20 hertz or something. Ooh, Glitch Mob. I remember them. But yeah, it's got a ton of space. Mr. Bean's Holiday, The Hobbit, Imagine Dragons. Yeah, this is like a just relic from the past. Oh, I love the Rudy soundtrack. Oh, and we still have the latest Elder Scrolls game, the Skyrim soundtrack. Yeah, it's like being thrown back in time. But that's pretty much all this can do. I don't have wired headphones, but even if I did, I don't think that would make for a great demo on the stream. So it's been plugged in for, I want to say, like 20 Probably more. It's probably been plugged in for 30 minutes. I'm going to unplug it and see what the battery says. Saving Private Ryan, Jurassic Park, Star Wars. All right. Those were not even, I mean, that huge when I last used this, but let me unplug it. Oh, hey, it says it's at like 60%. Unfortunately, we can't check the battery health on this thing. So I know how long it's going to last, but hey, the battery is charged. What do you guys want to plug in next? Should we plug in iPod Nano 6th gen, iPod Nano 5th gen? I'll put it up to a poll. You got a lot of soundtracks on that. I know you could put a lot because it was 160 gigs. That was a lot for the time. What should I power next? I'll do the poll. Nano 6th gen Square or yeah, of course I had the Halo soundtrack. Nano 7th gen camera. So we've got things to look at. We've got things to look at with these two iPods. So I'm gonna let the chat. Unfortunately, I would like to power this thing up, but I'm not sure it's working. This one I believe is dead. So I could plug it in, but I don't think we're gonna get much out of it. These two I'm pretty sure still work. We'll find out. I haven't powered them up in several years. I think it's been like since I was long before I was married was the last time these turned on. Man, this doesn't even feel like it's 30 pin is built correctly. Is it getting power? Man, that feels terrible. Let me try that again. Yeah, it's not getting much of a reaction. We know that the 30 pin cable works because it powered up the iPod Classic. But okay, most people are saying 6th gen. I hope the 6th gen still works. We're gonna find out if it does or doesn't. The pre-iPhone days, yeah, this was cutting edge. This was the newest stuff. Do you think iPod Touch 7th gen won't get iOS 16 now? The Mac Pro got discontinued, but still gets software state support. I wouldn't compare the Macs to the Macs get like 8 years of software support on average. iPods and iPhones don't get that much support. What you should be looking at is the silicon. So the iPod Touch is rocking an A10 chip, but it's underclocked. So far, what's rumored with iOS 16 is all the A9s will be dropped, but the weird thing about that I could see Apple going either direction on is the iPod Touch will be the only device with an A10 chip with a 4-inch display. So every other device with an A10 chip is 4.7, which is the same as the recently announced SE3. So there are tons of devices still getting software support that are 4.7 inches. You got the iPhone 7, you got the iPhone 8, iPhone SE2, and the iPhone SE3. So it makes sense to optimize iOS 16 to be on a 4.7 inch display. Same with the 7 Plus, 8 Plus. That's a fairly common aspect ratio, and they're going to optimize it for that for sure. But should the iOS team dedicate time and money and attention to one iPod with one 4-inch display and an underclocked A10? So it's not even the same speed of the A10 chip in the iPhone 7. And it would if it does get support, it would only get support for one more year. Apple's sold out of it. They're not building any more of them now. So should they update the iPod Touch with iOS 16? My guess is they're killing it off now so that they don't have to. I could be wrong. Many times in the past, Apple has surprised us with the backwards compatibility of iOS. So I'm plugging in the Nano 6th gen since that seems to be winning the poll. Hey! We've got a light. It's got power. It still works. Oh my god. That's blowing my mind. Thank God for flash storage, right? I'm pretty impressed that this is not flash storage. This is physical hard disk. And if you... Wow, the battery is already down to like 20%, and I've been talking for like 2 seconds. Oh, you can hear it. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear this, but I'll be really quiet. You can hear this hard drive spinning. If you hold it really close to the mic, maybe. I don't know. It's probably not coming out. When I When I hold it up to my ear, I can genuinely, like, I hear the disc spinning. Can you hear it? There's like there's like a drive in there and it goes zzz. It's pretty quiet when you're just holding it at a normal distance, but when I hold it up to my ear, yeah, it's very faint, but it's like a wow. Actually, they fit a spinning hard drive in this thing, and it was not very quiet. Wow, the battery's already empty. It says it's dead. Man, the battery health on this thing is approximately 10 minutes. It must be like 10% battery health. I'm hitting menu and it's not responding. This is gonna die any second. Um, I'm glad you can hear it. The first 1 inch iOS device. No, this was not iOS. This was its own custom. I don't know what Apple branded it actually. Maybe they called it iOS, but it was not anywhere. It was not like the same as what was running on the iPhone because there was no Bluetooth, there was no Wi-Fi, there was no App Store, nothing like that. So it says iPod and it says connected. Eject before disconnecting. Oh, the icon showed up. Oh wow! I want to show you guys this. This is so trippy. So it's labeled as iPod, which makes sense. It doesn't show up in Finder with like options for sync or to restore or anything. All it does is show up as like a hard drive, and when I open it, it says charging handle dot DWG 83 kilobytes. So I don't know why it shows up, but it does know the exact color and icon. I'll take a picture so you guys can see. Wow. I plugged in an iPod Nano 6th Gen to my iMac Pro running the latest version of macOS, and in the software, it still knows exactly what it looks like. It knew the color too. That's amazing. It did look exactly like iOS. That's fair. That's a good point. So I'll try to hit eject because it seemed when I hit eject, oh, that one ejected a lot faster. Now it says, oh, guys, look, it looks identical to iOS 6. Oh my god. Let's see if it still works. Woo! The music app, the settings app, and that's it. I think you could fit all of these. Can I rearrange the apps? How does it know what time it is? Whoa! It know. Okay, look at this. It's got watch faces baked in. It somehow knew. How do you go home? Now I don't. Okay, I don't know how you go home. So it looks a lot like iOS 6, and how it was the exact right time. I haven't plugged this in for like 4 or 5 years minimum, maybe more like 6 or 7 years. And as soon as it booted up, it knew exactly what time it was. That's pretty dope. Oh yeah, you could use two fingers to rotate the screen. I forgot about that. So let's try it. I'll hold it up here. Oh, it spins. I know that's not super impressive, but to me that's kind of cool. I don't think your Apple Watch can do that. How come you can't how come you can't rotate your Apple Watch orientation, huh? Come on, Apple. Let's do it right here. Does it? It's like, wait, what? Oh my god. Finding out all these new watchOS features. So yeah, two fingers on the iPod Nano. Whoop. Rotate. Whoop. You could go upside down. You could go the other way. Wow. It was a multi-touch display on a 1 inch thing. That's awesome. iPods always update time when you plug into a computer. That's great. I want to see if I can rearrange the apps. Do they let you do that? Oh yeah. You can move it over. I just go into jiggle mode. Look at jiggle mode. Oh my god. They're still swinging around. Yeah, I know the Mac probably told it the date and time, but it's just funny that it knows that quickly. Okay, I don't know why all the apps were in different parts of the home screen. There's not really this removed the home button before the iPhone 10 did. It's still in jiggle mode. I'm not sure how you turn it off. Do you just open an app? How do you hold down? You swipe up? No. Swipe down? No. Side to side? No. There's like all these extra screens to the side with nothing on them. But it's still in jiggle mode. Maybe you click this button down, but I did take this into water, so that probably I remember that the water messed up the buttons a little bit. Oh, you just hold an app down again. So you hold down the app to enter jiggle mode, and then you hold it down again. Does it support video and picture on a 1 inch screen? Absolutely. So I've heard that you could put photos on this thing, but basically there you go. That's all the apps that are currently on here. And because of how Mac OS is set up now without iTunes, I don't think I can put more apps back on. Um, I'm opening music. I want to see. Oh yeah, there's still music on here. 708 songs. I'm not sure how many gigs it was. I want to say like 8. Um, but yeah, it's got music. And then when an album's playing, it just becomes the album art, which is kind of cool. So the whole screen just becomes the album artwork. Or you can swipe right to go home. Whoop. It's just back. Basically, the swipe right is to go back. All right, let's look at some of these watch faces because I don't remember these. So it highlights the hour and then the minute. So it's 1:21. Um, oh, there's also a stopwatch. That's kind of cool. Built into the clock app. Let's see if it still works. Ooh, that frame rate's kind of chugging, but the stopwatch does still do stuff. Wow. Take that, Apple Watch. Oh, you can turn on app in the settings app. Okay, we might have to do that. And they also had timers. I'm not sure how it notified you when the timer was over, unless you had headphones in. I could see them working, but 1 minute timer. It says when timer ends, marimba. So there it goes. It's like this anamorphic countdown, which is kind of cool. These bezels are so thick, but they're still thinner than the Pixel Watch, let's be honest. Why did I not be a member before, but now I am? I don't know, Rivan, but I appreciate the support. Um, there's a lot more behind the scenes coverage when you're a member, but thank you. iPod, yeah, plugged it into the Mac. Read that. Aging batteries are the worst. Show us that Apple Watch Series -1. That's what this is. This will make resurgence in people using iPods. Not at all. No, there's basically no point in using an iPod. Did I ever own an iPod? My first iPhone was a 5S. Oh, interesting. So it's going to go down to 1 minute, and I want to see what it does without headphones. It just is a display. It's just timer done. And you hope to be looking at your display when that happens. That's awesome. Okay. So they actually had a decent number of watch faces. Probably not as many as we do now. But you tap the time. 18 different ones to choose from. Ooh, look at that. You could still have a round watch face with the iPod. Let's try another one. Oh, sorry. It's kind of hard to use this when you can't see it. There's some cool ones. This one's kind of like sporty looking. You've got the date, and the hands are moving physically. I mean, digitally, you can see the second hand moving around. The minute hand will move around, which is kind of cool. There's another round one. Circle interfaces on a square screen. Yeah, no, it is a complete square. There's no curved corners whatsoever. Yeah, it even knows the date. That's cool. As soon as you plug it in, it's like, okay, it's 2022. Got it. I like how this one adds in the little gears in the back, and the gears are actually spinning. These watch faces are better than the ones we have now. I need to switch back to the iPod Nano 6th Gen. I don't know what happened to the watch band for this, though. I think it broke. I remember that it fell apart on me, and I never bothered to get a new one because the Apple Watch had come out. Okay, we don't need Denzel Washington right now. Ooh, this one's a lot more minimal. Very clean. It's also not a very bright display at all. I mean, it's bright in here, but ooh, this one's definitely more feminine, I would say. It's got like accents and twirlies and what have you. But it still has the date there, which is kind of cool. We're going to go through each one, yes, because I don't want to miss anything. Actually, most of these are not digital. They all look like, the analog clocks. This one's trying to go for like a Casio. These are too dang cool. The screen is pretty dim in outdoor conditions. Correct. It's very dim. I still got the OG iPod, Drew, that uses an HDD drive. Right there with you, Dennis. Although the battery's dead. Oh no, it's back! Back with a vengeance. I was like, the battery's dead, and the iPod Classic was like, excuse me. Ooh, we've got the Mouse Hunt soundtrack, the Lost soundtrack. Yeah, the battery says it's dead, but it's still going. That's funny. Okay. Um, let's look at another watch face. Ooh, very classy. We got the Roman numerals. This one really shows off how thick the bezels are by turning on every single pixel. Not an OLED display, of course, which was bad for battery life and brightness. This one's kind of boring. Feels like they ran out of ideas. They just put the numbers up. Oh, stopwatch. Go back. There you go. So you had the clock, and the first watch face was basically the same, just in light mode. So this iPod Nano got dark mode before the iPhone did. That's incredible. Oh, thank God. I was hoping, even though it says 1 of 18, I didn't want to have to go all the way back. So you can luckily still rotate, hit the left arrow again, go to 18 to 18. We have animal. You can't get this on your Apple Watch. But you got Muppet watch faces. And go back again. Oh, Kermit. Nice. What's going on the nearest iPod Nano? I don't know, Fozzie. These watch faces are sick. Oh, you can get this on the Apple Watch, though. Of course, Apple's long-lasting relationship with Disney, still lasting with Minnie Mouse. Still thinner bezels than the Pixel Watch. Although now you can tap Mickey Mouse and he'll tell you the time. This one didn't have a speaker, so you couldn't do that. Yeah, I remember him saying that. A member of the board of directors used the iPod Nano as a watch. That would have been me. Ooh, okay, I remember this one. Oh, I missed this. I actually want this watch face on my Apple Watch. This is cool. It's like super minimal, but like the hour takes up one whole half of the screen, and then the minutes are a little bit smaller, and then the seconds are smaller, but it gives you AM and PM. This was the one I used all the time. I think, okay, how do I stop this from jumping back? Pause. Close. I don't need the music playing. All right. When I used this as a watch, I'm pretty sure this was the watch face I always used because it reminded me everything. It ain't easy. It ain't easy being a watch face, Brett. You know what? I really like this one too. This one's kind of interesting. It's a lot more digital, but it's got like those amber light bulbs, the very old-fashioned kind. We'll listen to the rest of this live stream in Apple Podcast. See you later. Thanks, Rivenon. Hope you have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, this one's interesting too. It's very pixelated. You got the day of the week. You've got the date. It even has the year. Do you think the software engineers who designed this watch face thought that this display would be looked at in 2022? When did this iPod come out again? I forget. I would ask Siri, but she's not going to know. iCloud storage is still... We're downgrading our iCloud storage, so I'm curious what's going down. Hey, Lily! Thank you for supporting the channel. That's very kind of you. I'll see you in the next members stream when I'm editing the next tech video. But thank you for your support. Appreciate that. The pixely one was my jam. 2010. So do you guys think that the software engineers writing this code would ever imagine that the iPod Nano would be looked at and used displaying the year 2022 on the display? That's crazy. And you got the seconds in the bottom corner that update, which is nice. Software updated in 2011. Wow. 11 years of support and it's still going. Okay, we've seen them all. We've done a complete loop. You guys are all cut up. Let me open the settings app. Oh yeah. Okay, here it is. Settings. We got music. We got general. Probably no battery health settings. There was radio. That's cool. Live pause. So the headphones became the antenna. Photos. Let's see. Shuffle photo. Yeah, I don't see the Photos app, but there was a section for photo settings. Fitness. Walk. Daily step goal. On. Wow. So you could put in You can put in like how many steps you want per day. That's interesting. Let's set it to something low, like 1,000. Um, Spoken feedback, height. Oh wow, you put in your height and weight to this thing. My God, I think the Apple Watch team got some inspiration from this. If Apple got the Apple Watch price down to like $150, they would sell like hotcakes. Dennis, they sell like hotcakes already. They sell higher than any other watch on the market. It's kind of crazy. Um, okay, I'm putting in my height and weight. I'm 5'11 and I'm 189 pounds. Last I checked. Whoa! Oh my God, we got a super chat. Oh, he's saying to go to general and then home screen. Reset calibration. He says you should do the next skit as Kermit. It would get all the hits, not a lot of hit. It will get. I don't think people like my Kermit impression as much. Okay, I'll go to general. Oh, you could set your wallpaper. Look, it still has all these old wallpapers. Thank you for the super chat, Ben. That was very nice of you. I'll try to work Kermit into a skit sometime. Look, it has like all the old iOS 5 wallpapers of the time. Oh, there's more. Yeah. These are cool. You could just set it straight from here. It's amazing how well software works when, oh yeah, they even let you see what it looks like. There's the Nike app and the radio app. Hit set. On home screen, there it is. Now you can turn off apps. You don't need an app store. You can just go into settings and click home screen. Turn on the fitness app. Turn on the radio app. Turn on... Wow, look at how many apps you could put on this thing. Photos, audiobooks, podcasts. Why did we stop using this? It's amazing. iTunes U. Wait, voice memos? You couldn't record voice memos, could you? I don't see the voice memos app, honestly. But I'm opening photos. Unfortunately, there's no photos on here, and I can't use iTunes because there's no iTunes on my Mac. But yeah, Apple and Nike are still partnered. It has the iOS 4/5 bubble one. Yeah, the bubbles are still there. Fit. Oh my God. Look, the fitness app has a plus on it. Apple leaked Fitness Plus in 2010, and somehow we missed it. It was there all along. Oh my God. Oh, so you plug in headphones to use the voice memos app. Got it. So you use the microphone on the headphones. That's kind of clever. I don't even have wired headphones anymore. I don't even know what to use. So I can't do that. Can I put my... Hold up. I'll figure this out. We're going to find a way to connect these. It's kind of like jarring to be using an old relic of the past and then suddenly look at AirPods and be like, these are much bigger and they do much less. What's radio? So radio basically used your headphones as antennas. So that's what it says. Plug in headphones to radio reception. So I used this a handful of times. It never worked very well, but you could basically, and might I add, this is very warm. It's quite hot. If you plugged in your Apple EarPods, they could receive radio signal from the pods themselves. I don't think AirPods can do that. Garbage, modern day Apple. Where's Steve Jobs where you need him? Honestly, I kind of hate the radio. We still occasionally turn it on in our car, and every time my wife turns it on, I'm like, there's so much talking and there's so much feedback. It's annoying. They sell a Bluetooth mod, Drew, for those old iPods. Oh my God, that would be hilarious. There's a podcasts app, but of course I don't have any podcasts. This is surprisingly capable for how small it was. I think I bought this on Amazon used for like $100. It was not that much money, but so cheaper than a pair of AirPods. But hey, there were a lot of things it could do. Apple has literally gotten that iPod, put some straps on, added fitness sensors, and called it the Apple Watch. Yeah, they added a couple things, just Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, heart rate monitor, ECG, larger display, OLED display, accelerometer, gyroscope, just a couple of things, and called it the Apple Watch. But those old Apple earbuds were garbage, always fell out of my ears. Yeah, remember they redesigned them to look more like this. This earpod design was introduced in 2012 with the iPhone 5. But before the iPhone 5 came out, the earpod shape was very circular and terrible. It sounded bad, it didn't stay in your ear, and that's what these shipped with. Although I didn't buy this new, I bought it on Amazon and it didn't come with the original packaging. So I don't have the box for this. It was just wrapped up in bubble wrap, but it worked perfectly fine. It was very functional and I got it for pretty cheap, so I was happy. I was like, this is a Apple branded watch. Like who has that? I was wearing the Apple Watch before it was cool. So, yeah, it's fun to see that it still works. The volume buttons I think are still working. The volume indicator back then had to cover the entire display. So yeah, you basically just canceled out everything when you adjusted volume, but you just let it go back and then it fades away. But I think, yeah, I can tell the clicker is broken on the power button. So I don't, I'm pressing the power button as much as I can and it doesn't do anything. I think it'll automatically shut itself off, but that does make it hard to use as a watch because there's no raise to wake or anything. Any positive updates on T-Mobile? In the past week, it's been far more stable. So I did that live stream a couple days ago. It didn't have any issues then, and I've been doing a lot of live stream. I think I was live for 6 hours yesterday. It was just an insane amount of live streaming, and I'm going to be doing more live streaming in general. But no issues so far. High bitrate streaming, very stable. So I'm happy with it as of right now. I just hope it stays that way. I wouldn't have done the whole T-Mobile rant thing if it would have stayed the way it was performing. The power buttons on these were fragile. Absolutely. At least the iPod Nano 6 was better than the Samsung Galaxy Gear 2013. I don't even remember what the battery life was like on this thing. I think I remember it getting me through the day. But it was definitely weird to keep using a 30-pin connector when the Lightning connector already existed. I was using this with the iPhone 5. Okay, so I'm going to unplug it. Man, that 30-pin is so fragile and weird. So it claims the battery has gone up to, what, 60% or so? We'll see how quickly that dies. iPod Classic, still going. Hey, there's the Dark Knight soundtrack. Oh, it was there for a second. These things basically use like no power when the screen isn't on. There's like nothing going on in the background. They just go to sleep. But, oh, who else remembers Owl City when that was the thing? Oh my god. Didn't you used to hold? Yeah, if you hold the pause button, it shuts the display off, which is kind of interesting. Do you have an iPod box on the wall? No, I don't know what happened to most of my. Most of these are hand-me-downs. Like this is my friend's. This was an old friend of mine's. This was my sister's. This I bought on Amazon. This is pretty. This I did buy from the store, but the box for this didn't have any labels on it. It was just a plastic shell, and you could actually see the physical iPod on the inside. So there wasn't really anything to hang on the wall because it was just a plastic box with no writing on it. Do you think they'll rename iOS to iPhone OS since now the iPhone is the only iOS device? I hope not. Yeah, I think there was talk about them doing that a while ago, but it didn't happen. I don't think they need to. I honestly don't think iPadOS needs to have a separate name. I think that it basically is iOS at this point. There's very little differences between the OS on the phone and the iPad. It's mostly a marketing difference. The internal framework of the iPhone and the iPad are the same. So yeah, I don't see the point in calling it iPhone OS. I honestly don't see the point in calling it iPad OS. Just say the iPad runs iOS. That's what it is. Okay, so we fired up this bad boy and it still works. Oh, the battery's already, look at that. Only a couple seconds went by. The battery's already down to like 10%. Oh my God. But I want to mess around with this camera. We got to do our one and only iPod camera test of the year, of the decade. I don't think I'll do any more iPod camera tests. So hopefully this Nano still works. I'm plugging it in now. We know it charged. Oh, yep, it took it a second. That had me worried there for a minute, but the Apple logo's there. It's lighting up. iPadOS is a skin. I think I agree with you there. Never understood the lock switch. I know one of you guys has the answer, but like, what was the point of this switch? It just deactivated the click wheel. When I was a kid, I was dumb, and now I'm still dumb. But when I was a kid, I used to think that that was a security measure. Like, there's a switch on the top that you use to deactivate the iPod. That way, if someone breaks into the car and tries to use it, it won't work. Okay, this is still blowing my mind how the icon loads up every time. I gotta show you guys. Um, but it knows the color and the exact generation. That's what it looks like on the iMac. It just shows up right away. So let's see if there's videos on this. I might be embarrassed. Okay, it's plugged in. Nothing shows up. Oh, wait, hold on. I take that back. There's a video. Oh, yeah. Let me look at this. Oh, it's my friend. We found the iPod and let me airdrop this actually. Which one is this clip? I guess we fired up this iPod at some point in 2018 because it's footage from the old office. Okay, I'm gonna take these files and airdrop them. Um, I'll come back. Oh my God, Jacob, what did you do? Oh my God, I missed something. I look away for 2 seconds and what have you done? Why did you super chat so much? He says, who here remembers using cassette adapters with our Apple devices back then? I had one for my iPhone 6 back in college, and not only it killed FM radio for me, it was also my hands-free device for answering calls when driving. That's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, my friend actually still has a cassette adapter for his iPod that he uses. That's amazing. Thank you so much for the super chat. That was incredibly generous of you. I was not expecting it. Jacob G. Whitmer, thank you. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Okay, Logan, of course, has the answer. The lock switch was so your iPod wouldn't shoot up to 100% volume while in your pocket. Happened once and never again. I didn't realize that was a common thing. Okay, I'm going to airdrop these files so you can see. They're 10 megabytes. 10 megabytes worth of video. We'll pull it up here. Um, Okay, gonna open the QuickTime. Oh my God, I can't believe it says this was created 2015, but that doesn't sound right. I wasn't in the office yet. Okay, what was your go-to messaging app back in the iPod days before iMessage? I don't know if I was messaging people before iMessage. Probably Facebook. When I was a kid, and Facebook was like the thing. Like I was playing all my games on Facebook. I was sharing pictures on Facebook. Now that's all dated and no one cares about Facebook anymore, except it still shockingly has a ton of users. But I think it was Facebook Messenger. I remember when it used to be part of the Facebook app, and I think either that or email. I do actually remember genuinely like emailing people when I was little. I don't remember anything else. There was not I didn't have a phone before the iPhone. So as soon as I had an iPhone, I had iMessage. Before that, I didn't text anyone because I never owned a flip phone or anything. Um, so maybe the date and time is wrong on the iPod Nano. Let me pull up the video here so you guys could see it. Oh my God, look at this. Here it is. Shot on iPod Nano. Yeah, so you can see the other iPods on the floor here. There's some old watch bands. There's my friend Dan. He's in the Marines now. He's eating some sandwich, and I was showing off the recording capability. So I'm just packing up all these boxes and running around and panicking. And everyone's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "We're moving to Twitch." That was back when I was excited for the Twitch transition. We're not on Twitch anymore. Oh my God, that quality though, so glorious, so beautiful. Okay, this was my friend Wyatt's desk. He was playing a game on it. I can't tell which game it is. It's recording. Wyatt was so shocked by that. Oh my God. Should I record a new one? We should charge it up and record a new video. Hate when people want me to use Snapchat, DMs, etc., not iMessage, and then they get hacked. That's not bad. I should look at the info on these, huh? I'll go to the about info. They're labeled as IMG files. I'll be honest, the video performance was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So the resolution is 480p. That's better than I expected. I thought it was 240p. The dimensions are 640 by 480. And the audio is stereo? No. That's crazy. They get in on the info section. It says the audio channels are stereo. That can't be a stereo microphone. No way. That's a lie. That looks like Destiny 2, which came out in 2017. Yeah, it probably is. Recorded tribute to iPods using your iPod Nano. Okay, that's. Oh my god. I don't even know how to do that. Okay, we got the videos off. There's no other videos on here. So I don't think there's as much. There's recordings. So there's a folder that shows up on my Mac called DCIM, and that's where it put the videos. All the other folders like calendars, contacts, notes, recordings, those are all empty. For some reason, Logic Pro is on here. What? How did the... Can you... Okay, maybe someone put Logic Pro on here as a joke. I don't remember doing it. But how many gigs is this? It doesn't even say on the back. Can you basically turn iPods into flash drives at a certain point? Like, can you just throw files on them and then plug them in? Maybe we should use this as a 160 gig flash drive. That's what it's for. Hold on. I'm not joking. Just so you guys believe me, let me hold this up. It has the no symbol on it, whatever that's called. Oh my god. This is blowing my mind right now. I plugged in the iPod, and it has the Logic Pro app. I know, my screens are dirty. It's all crossed out, but... Okay, iPods can be flash drives. So at some point, I don't know who, because I don't think it was me, someone must have... This says created 2009. So at some point in 2009, a friend of mine or somebody put Logic Pro on the iPod Nano. Maybe it was Ross. Ross probably messed around with this at some point. Ross put Logic Pro is now running on the iPod. Oh my god. Open Music app on Mac. Oh, okay. I don't even know if I have the Music app on here. Let me check. I don't think I have the app. Oh, right. Universal Control is so confusing sometimes. You gotta type it on my laptop. Okay, maybe I do have it. Okay, Music app is open. Oh, here it is. Devices. Oh, you're right. We can sync it. Okay, this is the 8 gig iPod sync settings. Now it's open. Okay. Software version 1.0.2. Your iPod software is up to date. Automatically sync when the iPod is connected. Oh, this is funny. I wish I could show you guys this. So you can still do music syncing. That's hilarious. I can sync photos onto it. I should load pictures of the new iPhone 14 onto my iPod just for kicks. Are you gonna do a video on the iPadOS leaks? Probably. I don't know what they are at the moment, but if there's interesting leaks surrounding the iPad, I'll probably do it. iPod got Logic Pro before the iPad. It's pre-installed, right? Oh my god. That's funny. I don't have any music that I'm interested in syncing, but it's funny that you can just do that. I'm going to hit eject now because I want to use the camera. Oh, it's saying synchronizing. Oh no. Don't do anything. There's no music to install here. Okay. That's the first time I've opened the music app in forever. It says okay to disconnect. Here we go. All right. So this one actually had an accelerometer. So you could use it like that and then activate cover flow like this. And the album art loads, still kind of choppy, but the album art is loading much, much faster than the iPod Classic, which is awesome. I'm grateful. But I know what we're here for. See, it's specifically labeled video camera. No pictures allowed. All right. Open. Nope, not cover flow. Open. I'm clicking the center button. There it goes. Oh. Oh my god. Say hello to my new webcam, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do all my live streaming from this. Wow. That is so tiny. Actually, when the resolution is shrunk down, oh, that's funny. You can record in vertical. I can post all, even though the camera is way down here. So if you try to record in vertical, it's like you're probably better off holding it. Yeah, you can. Okay, you can record like this. This is ridiculous. Wow, that's amazing. It still works. Only one camera, that's for sure. Why are people taking ProRes on iPhones? ProRes is an editing codec. H.264 is a recording codec. Yo, you can capture more detail in ProRes. I shoot my videos in ProRes and then export in H.264. You're a little wrong. ProRes is not just an editing codec. It's more common actually to record in ProRes. Put the Tailosive tech theme on it. Camera that small was such a luxury back then. It was amazing at the time. When did this come out? I can't remember. Let me look it up. You guys are probably going to tell me the answer before I get it. iPod Touch. Not Touch, sorry. iPod Nano 5th gen release date. Yeah, that's like the first response. This came out in 2010. Or no, 2009. It was September of 2009 for the 5th generation. So there were iPhones at the time. So this does not predate the iPhone. So cameras on pocket devices. This is the first time they brought a camera to a Nano though. And I believe the only time, yeah, because the iPod Nano 6th gen did not have a camera, so nor did the 7th gen. The battery die on it already? Yeah, he ain't coming back. Or the power button just doesn't work. One of the two. I can't tell if the battery died or the volume buttons. Never knew they had cameras. That's a terrible spot to put it. I don't even know why they bothered doing this, but they were just like, can we? And they figured out they could. It didn't matter how bad the camera was. We'll do another recording on it. Why not? We've got the space. All right. This is the first official vlog of 2022 recorded on iPod Nano 7th gen. I should do that, huh? That'd be kind of a funny video. Thinking back on the iPod. The audio might be so bad it might not be worth it. Just do the whole video, 480p. It'll upload faster than any of my other videos. I don't even know how much space. Well, I guess on one hand, there's only like 8 gigs on here, but the video takes up very little space. So that kind of gives it an advantage. Maybe we could record quite a bit on this. I don't know. I don't know. How many megapixels is that? Like a half? I think it's like 2. I think it's like 1 or something. Didn't the original iPhone have a 2 megapixel camera? It's just funny that it's only video. That like there's not a way to take a picture because they're like, no, you don't want to take a picture. Who honestly would use this? Like, who was actually using this? I don't know. All right. I'm going to stop recording. Recorded for about a minute. And the recordings are... It knows the date. It's May 12th, 2022. All right. I'll play back the... Oh, it has a speaker. I forgot. This is the first official vlog of 2022 recorded on iPod Nano 7th gen. They have the tiniest little speaker in this thing. When the video is shrunk down, it honestly doesn't look that bad. How do I make it go back into read mode? Do I just unplug it and plug it back in? Wow, it's almost fully charged. Doesn't that Nano have radio? Technically, they all had radio. You just needed... Oh, do you mean like can you activate the radio through the speaker? That's a good question. Do a vlog with it? Oh, no. It better be a very short video. Use it for skiing or something? That's what I did with mine, but I didn't have the camera generation. Well, that's what I mean. What would you use the camera for is what I'm asking. Okay. Let me find the file and we'll pull it up here. So that video that was a minute long was 21 megabytes. That's some intense compression, to be quite honest. 17-year-old me would be so amazed. I know, right? Oh my god. Well, this has been fun. None of the other devices are gonna boot up for us, but here, let me switch to editing. Okay. So you guys can follow along with me here. This is the video I just recorded. So we should be able to hear it. All right. Ooh. This is the first official vlog of 2022, recorded on iPod Nano 7th gen. I should do that, huh? That'd be kind of a funny. There's a lot of white noise, but if you listen past the white noise, it actually sounds kind of good. The mic is not terrible, if you ignore the terrible parts, basically. Thinking back on the iPod, and the audio might be so bad it might not be worth it. Just do the whole video 480p. It'll upload faster than any of my other videos. I want to throw this into Final Cut, you know? You know what I'm saying? Okay, hold on. New event. We don't need it to be 4K. They don't have a mode low enough. Let's just do 720p at 23 because I'm sure it's not a high frame rate. Okay. I want to throw this in here. All right. There's a lot of white noise. Let me apply voice isolation. This was the latest update in Final Cut. Does that fix it? All right. This is the first official vlog of. It got rid of most of it. Let me boost it. Oh my god. This is amazing. All right. This is the first official vlog of 2022, recorded on iPod Nano 7th gen. I should do that, huh? That'd be kind of a funny video. Oh my god, the audio is so bad. On the iPod. And the audio. You can just erase the background noise. The video takes up very little space. So that kind of gives it an advantage. Maybe it eats into the treble a little bit. It'll upload faster than any of my other videos. I don't even know how much space. Well, I guess on one hand... Oh, that rolling shutter is so bad. Oh my god, that's hilarious. It's much better than expected, yeah. Now we gotta color grade it. I think I can throw out my black magic now, guys. I think I'm ready to just fully commit. We're gonna go all in, record every tech video with the iPod Nano from here on out. It's the 5th gen. Just use this camera in the beginning skit. That'd be a missed opportunity. If not, yeah, I think you're right. I don't know what I'll work it into. I don't know what I'll work it into, but I definitely should. It's definitely not as bad as I thought it would be. Yeah, I love when you take the M1 Max and the machine learning capabilities of Apple Silicon to fix the audio of a iPod from 13 years ago. 13-year-old iPod recording. Yeah, it's kind of sweet. Oh my god. Well, this was fun. I'm gonna enjoy. I'm glad I kept my iPods so that we could celebrate their death today, as they're now sold out. Dean took pictures with an older iPhone. Pictures weren't as bad as we thought. Yeah, I remember doing that too, because I also have a bunch of old iPhones in a different storage box. But yeah, frankly, the original iPhone camera was surprisingly good when you go back and look at the pictures. I mean, obviously it's better now, but it's not as better as you would think, basically. But yeah, Garcia is correct. It was pretty good for 2007. What are your thoughts on Google's sort of AR glasses? I'm not convinced they'll survive based on the fact that the last one didn't survive. So I'm just going to wait and see what happens. But Google unveiled way too many things that they aren't ready to release. Like they told Marquez that there was going to be a soft glass back to the Pixel 7, and they've already issued a statement now that says, actually, no, it's not soft glass. So Google is marketing things that they haven't finished. They literally haven't agreed upon the design, and yet they're marketing stuff, which I think is just kind of stupid and a bad idea. So, yeah, I was underwhelmed by the lack of info, and I'm kind of like, why are they unveiling these kind of things? But yeah, I did a whole video on that. I think there are still stocks left for the iPod Touch here in the UK. Yeah, that's why I mentioned the US online store. Last chances to get your iPod Touch outside of the US, from Apple at least. You could, of course, go to Amazon or Best Buy, probably has some. But this was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys joining me on this experience. Looking through, I don't know why I have these together. Tesla Powerwall, iPod Classic. Do you still have power? It still lasts! Okay, the last 1% of the battery life. That's another thing. You guys want your battery percentage back? There's no battery percentage on this thing. There's just an icon at the top. I have 138 gigs free. Oh, the clicker is off. One sec. There you go. Here it is. It sounds like a Geiger counter. Is there any radioactive material in the area? That's the clicker. Let me see if the iPod Nano could actually play the radio. No, it needed headphones. You had to plug it in. Okay, now we know. This was fun. I had a good time playing with the old iPods, and they're still here. That's the good thing, you know. Just because Apple's not building any new ones, which I still stand by. I don't think they needed to build new ones anymore. I think iPhones have clearly shown iPods are dated and not logical anymore. But it's still fun to go back down memory lane. You can still do this if you still got some iPods, or you can probably find them on eBay or something for cheap. But yeah, I appreciate the new channel members. I appreciate the super chats as well. And I'm happy to say, even though this live stream is ending, I'm actually going to be going live over on Tailosive Gaming right now. Sound good? Does that does that sound fun? Because I want to try to make some more time for the gaming streams, and you know, I enjoy live streaming, and I couldn't really do the gaming streams on Starlink, but now T-Mobile is proving to be more stable. So I'm gonna end this stream, but I'll be live over on Tailosive Gaming. The link is in the chat, so you guys can follow me over there. But if not, have an excellent rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.